Here are 3 reasons why most people fail in business. My name is Michael Barayev, and I built a team of 150 plus sales guys, and we did it with 0 money invested in less than 2.5 years, and now we have a business with solar that's growing like crazy, coast to coast, like butter on toast. I want to talk about this concept of failure because you've been seeing a lot of companies right now, and you're going to see a lot of companies that are going to be failing like crazy. And there's 3 main reasons why most companies fail. If you kind of boil it down into 3 different compartments, it usually comes to what goes on the external, what goes on the internal, and then also, what goes on with their belief system and their mindset and their philosophy, right? And I learned this from an event that I went to not too long ago, and I forget the speaker's name, but he actually went over it and it kind of hit me in the head like, wow, it just boils down to these 3 compartments, right? So the first compartment is the external compartment. And the external compartment is all about like what people are telling you, the guidance, the opinions of other people. For example, a lot of people get into the tech world or the hedge fund world or these sexy product world, I would call it, right? Because they want their family to respect them and like them and for nobility and to feel good and to look good. And I was talking to my friend and he was telling me not too long ago, he was like, yo, Mike, the one thing I love about you is that you went into an industry that nobody even knows about, like door to door. Who the hell knows about door to door? Nobody even realizes that there's millions of dollars in door to door, like, right? If you think about door to door, you're thinking of like some guy that's some old sales guy that's knocking on someone's door, barely making any money. And that's what the ideology is for some people when it comes to door to door. Like, why would you do that? But what they don't know and they don't realize is that there's millions of dollars in door to door and you can make a shit ton of money. And most people don't know that, right? And you could create money not in 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years, but literally the first 2, 3 years of your business, you can make millions of dollars if you go out there and hustle. And that's the beauty about, not listening to other people, because I was so oblivious and I was so like wet behind the ears that I didn't pay attention to all the noise around me. I just went and did something where I was chasing the money. I wasn't really chasing the status, so to say, right? And when you're listening to the guidance and the opinions of other people, and you do this and you ask for their advice and their opinions, what ends up happening is sometimes you may not be, you're not going to win sometimes because you're taking advice from others that don't really have the success. So you may listen to your uncle, your cousin, your dog, whatever, and you make a bad decision and your company fails, right? That's one way of creating failure because you're listening to everyone else. The other way of creating failure is not having enough experience or knowledge or education in what you're trying to do. So for example, you can get into a door-to-door business, you can get into a solar business, a plumbing business, a roofing business, any kind of business. But if you don't know enough or you don't have enough experience in that business, it's not going to grow. Like I have a friend of mine who is just starting a business in January, right? He's getting involved in a successful company that's growing. And he was telling me like, the reason why he didn't start his own thing is because like, he's like, if I start my own thing, I don't have the experience, I don't have the knowledge. And the person I'm partnering up with, he literally had 4 years of experience in that industry. So why would I want to go start all over when I could just go partner with someone that already has the 4 years of experience in that industry and is already creating success and ride his coattail versus starting from scratch, right? And a lot of people get into business and they may get into the business because they have the experience, but what doesn't happen and what they stop doing is keep educating themselves and keep learning about the industry and keep getting more information on the business and keep studying and keep learning and keep growing. And that ends up hurting you because if you don't have enough experience and you don't have enough knowledge, that can create failure as well, right? So you have the external by listening to everyone on the outside. You have the internal by you not having enough experience and have enough knowledge. And then you have the third one, right? This is the philosophy. It's the mindset, right? And that's pretty much your belief system, your mindset, your values, what you think about. Like I heard someone say not too long ago, and someone close to me, why do I want to make, $100 million? I don't want to deal with that headache. I was like, whoo, get away from me with that mindset. Like, I want the headache. I want to have a $100 million company. Like, I want to deal with that because the bigger the headache, the bigger the reward. The bigger the bullshit, the bigger the cleanup, the more money I can make. Because you think Elon Musk bought Twitter because it was a successful company? No, he bought it because it was fucking tanking. It was about to go, listen, between me and you, Twitter was going to shit. Right? He bought it because he knew that if he goes inside, changes the team, changes the policies, does whatever he needs to do, is going to grow to maybe one day $1 trillion company. The first social media company that can get there. And I think he can do that because of how he acts and how he thinks, because of his mindset and his philosophy. A lot of times we fail because we have the wrong mindset. A lot of times we fail because we have the wrong belief system. And if you don't believe you're successful, or if you don't believe you deserve success, why should you have that success? Think about it. Why do you deserve to be successful if you're not thinking about it? If you don't believe you're successful, if you don't believe you deserve it, why would God bless you with that? So you have to change your mindset and your belief system in order to get there, because if you do not, what will end up happening is you're going to fail. And if you either listen to the opinions of others with the external stuff, if you don't have enough knowledge or experience with the internal stuff, or if you don't have the right mindset and belief system, right, the philosophy, the values, the principles in your head, you're also going to fail. So you got to get all these 3 buckets in order so you can create success for your family. And believe me, there is no success without failure, but you don't want failure as a whole. You don't want failure as a whole because that's not how you create success. You create success through small failures, which is what we always have to grow through, but failure as a whole is not what we want. And if you want to create massive success, I recommend you changing your perspective on the external stuff, the internal stuff, and your thought process. And I promise you, you will become successful, and you're going to be sitting here talking to me, having a conversation, and somehow, so you're going to be teaching me something new. So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. If you want some new videos, do me a favor, drop it in the comments, show some love, show some likes, and I'll see you guys in the next video.